Yeah, welcome back to my channel everyone. In this video I'm gonna talk about the basics, let's say for beginners, what you should know if it comes down to helicopter gameplay. So I would like to start off with the sensitivity, the yaw factor, pitch factor, stuff like that. Basically what you need to do in your settings. So I can tell from my own experience and also from knowing others, what you should do in the helicopter setting is put everything to 10. Pitch factor, yaw factor and sensitivity to 10. It just gives you the maximum amount of ability to maneuver and react on things very quickly. So the second thing you want to do is go to the hotkeys and choose something that suits you best for the F1 and F2, sometimes even F3 key. Alright, F3 key is for the transport chopper, because the transport chopper always circles into the right direction. Alright, so when you have this key shortcut hotkey, you make sure that between switching from the cockpit to the machine gun you have the least amount of time spent, so it gives you instant moment to react to your enemy. All right, same goes for the normal like for the attack helicopter. You just modify the F2 key. All right, the F1 means you're gonna be back into cockpit. If you want to change the F1 too, that's fine. I, for example, have the F2 key linked to spacebar, right? So I can just quickly hit spacebar, and then I'm going to be in the gunner seat, and I can take a shot. Then, right after you shot, you have to go back to hit F1 key. You can also bundle these keys onto your mouse if you have like additional mouse keys. Totally fine. Yeah, the next thing you should know when you drive helicopter is more or less how to steer it. All right, so you have basically the letter W, which is similar when you run around. That one you use basically for the power. The longer you hold it, the faster the helicopter goes up. The slower you hold it, or if you don't hold it at all, let's say, your helicopter basically starts to free fall out of the sky. Alright, you need to know how to use that key. Just practice a bit. For example, a very easy way to know how much you need to press it is if you fly underneath two pipelines or a bridge. Alright, because when you fly underneath and you get out of it, the tail of your helicopter possibly touches the pipeline and you're gonna crash, unless you don't hit the W bottom, so you release a bit of that momentum of power so you can like quickly just slide underneath it. Alright, so that's like a basic exercise how you can get used to using the W key. Another thing is the S key. That's the opposite thing. You can use it to brake. So if you stop hitting the W key, your power gets shut off, but you can also at the same time use the S key, so it gets shut off even faster. All right, or if you drive and you just want to slow down, if you want to land again especially, you just always hit the S key. Now we still have the A and the D key. These are the two on each sides, and these are basically used to do side rolls. All right, you basically hit A because it's pointing to the left, and you take the mouse and you drag it to the right. So you cannot always do the opposite. If you want to do a side roll to the left, you drag the mouse to the left and you hit the D. If you wanna like do a bigger side roll, because this is for the tiny side rolls, you can also hit A and D at the same time. Alright, so you're gonna make a huge side roll. So another thing is that you should know that your mouse pretty much determines the position of your helicopter. So if you want to have the nose up, you need to basically push the mouse forward. If you want to have the nose pointing down, you move the mouse backward. If you're as a gunner especially, don't do it as a pilot if you don't know how to fly, alright? It's something that is for much more advanced players, but as a gunner, you know, if you're, for example, helicopter is flying low, you can press C because you're gonna have a much better overview of what's going on. You can also press C twice or 3 times, whatever. You can also bundle these keys to mouse side keys so that you can quickly reach out to the keys that you need to be able to watch from the side, from the back, whatsoever. Another tip as a gunner that you have to know is, like, when you take a shot at another enemy helicopter, you should always try to avoid this center, like, buggy area. So don't ever shoot straight at him. Always try to get a side shot, because the side shots are, in my opinion, like 90% hits. The tail shots are difficult, sometimes you manage them, and the rudder blade shots are also kind of difficult. So I would just say, just always go for the side shot, and it's just for basic practicing. It's just the safest way to go, because once you get used to that side shot, we just like go automatically, and you will get used to that. Alright, as a pilot, there's some basic things that you need to know when you fly. So one of them is that you should not fly in the center of the map, and especially if you're not experienced. Alright, so the easiest way to go is fly on the edges of the map. Doesn't really matter which map it is, whether it's Dragon Valley, whether it's Dalian, whether it's I don't know. Like, the thing is just, if you fly in the center of the map, you either need to be really good at hiding, advancing from obstacle to obstacle without having the enemy notice you, or you need to be able to actually have already kind of like captured a few flags, and you're more or less safe to advance through the map. But I've seen it so many times that people just run into the helicopter, take off, and just fly straight through the map. And obviously you have the maximum amounts of targets aiming at you, because you have targets on the right, targets on the left, from above, from the bottom, so the chance that you're gonna survive is very low. So that's why you want to fly in the sides, because you can kind of isolate the amounts of things targeting you, because you only have to take care of one side. Alright? So yeah, one more thing that you should know as a pilot is that you have a little square box in the center of your HUD, and this is telling you where your gunner looks. So when you fly, you usually have to go slightly backwards with the helicopter, so that the nose of the helicopter points upwards, so that the gunner has the perfect view of shooting his TV missile. So when you fly straight over the map, you have to know that your gunner looks basically on the ground. When you want to give him a shot, you should put the nose up. That's just very basic. I don't expect you to give the best shots in the beginning to your gunner, but you should always know that also when he looks to the side, this box is actually looking somewhere else where you are looking, and you should always try to correspond with your gunner. Then I would like to add one more thing, that is spotting. Alright, if you're a beginner, whether you're a gunner or pilot, always spot. Alright, because you know that you're probably not good yet, you're gonna miss most of the targets. Totally fine, just always spot, because as soon as you spot your enemy, you know that other people are gonna help out. Alright, and you can also spot while that you're in C views. Alright, spotting is always going the same way. You hit the Q key and then you hit the right click or left click. Yeah, anyways, you're gonna get used to that. Just do these things and I think you will be pretty fine. So now a final thing is just how do you practice. If I was you, I would go into single player, alright? I also played a lot into single player, it's a lot of fun. One of the best maps I would recommend you to practice is you go into Dragon Valley. And in this map, I would say if you use the seat switching thing that I just explained you take off, you kick out your pilot, and then you can heli seat switch. So you don't need two people to be in the helicopter. So if you manage to get around 80 or more kills in these 15 minutes, then I would say you're doing pretty well, right? If you're doing 50, you're also doing fine. Below 50, I wouldn't even try multiplayer server because you literally don't know how to handle the TV rocket. It's just more fun for you to practice in single player because you don't have the lines. You don't have to be afraid if you're someone you're gonna fuck up, and you can play as much and as effectively as possible because you don't have to wait for the helicopter to respawn so much and then like get the place taken by another player, stuff like that. So I would recommend you to just do that. If you say you're not so confident yet with heli seat switching, what you can also do is you can just park the helicopter onto a certain spot of height, for example onto a silo, onto a building of a roof, and just like get used to how do you actually use the TV rocket. Alright, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. If something is not covered yet that you think should have been covered, that like counts to the basics, also just leave a comment below if you want to add something. Yeah, feel free to do so, and yeah, that was it from my side. Hope to see you next time, and have a nice day.